Just a few months after Nebraskans voted to increase minimum wage, a bill has been introduced that would make some big changes.
A hearing was held today with testifiers on each side bringing their own personal experiences. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson joins us now here in the studio with more. Mackenzie.
Senator Tom Breezy's bill aims to help small businesses who might struggle with the new increase in minimum wage. It would allow businesses to pay younger workers less than older workers. But some teenagers testified today that it's unfair to pay them less than coworkers when they perform the same duties.
Youth workers typically occupy entry-level positions, and many of our small businesses can't afford to pay the ballot minimum for those entry-level jobs. So it creates financial hardship on our small businesses, or it forces youth labor out of the labor market.
In November, voters passed an increase in minimum wage across Nebraska, which will increase incrementally until it hits $15 an hour in 2026. Under Breezy's bill, employees 14 to 17 years old would only have to be paid $10 an hour by 2026. And it would set minimum training wage to $10 an hour for employees ages 18 to 20. Shannon McCord, a grocery store owner in rural Nebraska, says without this bill, small businesses could be forced to close.
And I fear for all rural communities that rely on rural grocery stores to provide them with fresh meats and produce. I fear for their main streets that rely on them to keep people from having to drive out of town for their groceries every other day. And I fear for the people that do not have the ability to go out of town. I fear for our rural communities' future.
Those who opposed LB 15 say younger workers will be taken advantage of. Others say it creates an ethical dilemma because it is discriminating workers based on age and not skill.
You get paid for your labor, not necessarily by the age that you are. And I think it's a slippery slope to start determining people's wages based on their age. This could easily be if you're in between the age of 54 and 57 and 57 and early retirement of 62, that you can only make this amount of money.
Senator Terrell McKinney, who was on the Business and Labor Committee, heard testimony at the hearing for the bill. One of his main concerns was for his younger constituents, who are working out of necessity to help support their families and save up for their future. One testifier told of her own experience as a young worker.
My family and I live in poverty, so I have to help my family with bills, and I'm also responsible for the costs that are part of my school and extracurricular activities. Like other minimum wage workers, teenagers, and adults, I spend nearly all my money on essentials to help myself and my family survive during this time of inflation. This bill treats me like a child when I have the responsibilities of an adult.
The bill wasn't voted on today in committee, but we will be keeping you updated on it throughout the legislative session, on air and online at klkntv.com.